Hello, people. This is an attempted LLB virtual learning program for UOL students of Bangladesh. And you're watching 15 minutes a day, learning law bit by bit. We will start with offer and acceptance. And in order to learn it bit by bit, we have divided the chapter into 3 parts. In the first part, we will learn about offer, ITT, and the difference between acceptance and counteroffer. The second part is all about communication of acceptance. And in the final part, we will learn about revocation. That is, how to withdraw an offer and whether it is possible to withdraw an acceptance. In today's session, we will particularly deal with the first part, and then we'll partly solve 2 questions from the previous years. So let's start then. What is offer? Offer is the core element of a contract. You can offer money or a thing of value in exchange for another thing or a performance. And that is how a contract is formed. When you offer a thing in exchange of a thing, for example, I offer you £2 in exchange for your blue Montex gel pen. This is called a bilateral offer. However, when you offer a thing in exchange of a performance, for example, I offer you £2 if you can find my blue Montex gel pen. Here, finding the pen is a performance, and for this performance, I am offering £2. Such offers are called unilateral offers. To make a legally valid offer, we must fulfill certain requirements. The first one is expressing certainty of intention. That means you have to tell the person whom you're offering that you're sure you want to form a binding contract with him. For example, if I say I will sell my Montex gel pen for £2, this is an offer. But if I say I may sell my Montex gel pen for £2, this is not an offer, because here I'm not sure if I will sell the pen at all. The intention here of forming a contract is not certain. Now, the second requirement is specifying terms with sufficient details. It means while expressing our intentions to form a contract, we have to specify our terms very clearly. And we must disclose enough details so that the offeree can decide if he should accept our offer or not. For example, there's a signboard on a bookshop that says pen available for £2, but it does not mention the color of the ink or its durability or brand name or the type of the ink. Clearly, the shopkeeper did not provide the buyer with sufficient information to decide whether he should buy such pen or not. So, why do you think he placed that message on the window at the first place? Because he wants to invite people for further discussion. He wants to negotiate and see if eventually he can manage to sell a pen. Such invitations are called invitation to treat. In short, ITT. It is not an offer, but can eventually lead to an offer through discussions and thus may even help to form a contract. The main difference between offer and ITT is that in an offer, the intention is to form a binding contract, while in ITT, the intention is to negotiate. Also, offer contains a lot more details than ITT. Now, when we see an offer, we can either ignore it or accept it or make a counter offer. We accept an offer by agreeing to the terms of the offerer as it is. That means if the offerer says £2 for one pen, then we agree to pay £2 exact. But what happens when we say no, we will pay £1.5 and not two? This is a counter offer and not an acceptance. Counteroffer is when instead of accepting an offer, you try to change an existing term. Now, let's solve a few questions and see if we have understood the things learned so far. Now, this fact is about Bella and Adele. Bella told Adele that she wants about £100,000 in exchange of her red Ferrari sports car. The question is if this is an offer or an ITT. Now, the word about is very vague in nature. Obviously, it requires further discussion in order to determine what exact amount Bella is actually expecting. The intention here is not certain, and therefore this is an ITT, not an offer. In response to Bella's invitation, Adele sent an email and said that she would buy the car in exchange for £100,000. She also mentioned that she will transfer the money in few days. Now, the question is if this is an offer or ITT. Here, Adele's email clearly states that she will transfer £1,000 to Bella's account. Therefore, sufficient certainty of intention is present. Also, Adele mentioned details about mode of payment. Therefore, it is safe to conclude that this was an offer. In response to Adele's email, Bella replied back that she will only sell the car in exchange of £125,000. Now the question is if it is an acceptance, or a counter offer. Now, as we have already learned, acceptance must be unconditional. But Bella here proposed a new term. Therefore, this is a counteroffer. This was an offer and acceptance question from 2017, and we just literally solved 2/3 of it. So now let's see if we can solve another question from 2015. In this fact, Seema placed an advertisement on her window stating that 5 goblets, each for £10, were for sale, available only to the first 5 people who pays her that amount by Saturday, that is 1st May. Now the question was whether it was an offer or an ITT. Now generally, advertisements are considered as ITT because advertisers generally do not publish it with the intention to get binding. They in fact publish it with intention to invite people for further discussion. In our fact, however, this advertisement requires a particular performance. It requires the offeree to pay £10 for each goblet by 1st May and before the 6th person turns up. Now, as per previously decided cases, such as Carlyle versus Carbolic, such advertisements are in fact unilateral offers if we can prove that the advertisement had all the required elements of a contract. Now, based on the given facts, it is clear that the terms were very clear, definite, and explicit. It left nothing open for further negotiation. There was a specific deadline. The price was clearly mentioned. It also clarified what product the offer was about, and also the quantity of the product was mentioned as well. Most importantly, the advertisement clearly imposes a first come, first served type of a condition, which suggests that Seema will sell goblet to whoever makes the payment before the 6th person turns up, which means certainty of intention to form a binding contract was present too. Therefore, it is fair to conclude that this was a unilateral offer. In response to that advertisement, Shed telephones Seema on 29th April, that is Thursday, and asks if he could buy 2 goblets for £15. So the question is if this was an acceptance or a counteroffer. As per the given fact, Shed here had introduced a new term. He had specified a new price and mentioned the quantity too. Therefore, Shed's phone call here was not an acceptance, rather was a counteroffer. That was 1/3 of the question from 2015. If you need a sample answer for these questions, leave your email addresses in the comment section and I will email the samples to you. That's all for today. See you on Saturday.